What's up, guys? Collin Coates from Built2Wander out here in Las Vegas for the 2025 SEMA show. Behind me are two proven builds that show just how easy and functional a no-fab approach can be. We're gonna walk around these vehicles, talk about the upgrades, how we got to 40-inch tall tires, and show how proven these have been over Moab and the Rubicon Trail. Before we get started, like this video, subscribe to the Driving Line channel, and let's get after it. So we're gonna start by walking around this 2024 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. So we actually built this Jeep for my dad, which I was pretty stoked about. The first time he saw it was out here at SEMA once we kind of redid it from Moab and our Rubicon trips. But really the build recipe for this and my 392 was ease of installation, bolt-in simplicity, and a 40-inch tall tire, because with the 40-inch Nitto trail grappler, we can take these Jeeps just about anywhere we want to. And so that's really where we started, right? We knew we wanted to ultimately get to a 40-inch tall tire, but we didn't want the added headache of custom fabrication and one-off parts. It really leads to more maintenance, and we were really trying to keep these things as simple as possible, great drivers, and really minimize that maintenance. And so with that, we did all bolt-in components. We've got a short arm suspension system from Rock Jock 4x4. We added the Bilstein 8100 series dual speed adjustability shocks. So they're called the DSAs. They've got adjustability in both high and low speed. So whether you're crawling off-road or you're rolling at 80 miles an hour down the highway, you can tune those shocks by just simply turning these different knobs here and really get the ride that you desire. And so that's kind of the suspension. That was a 3-inch lift. We trimmed these factory fenders. That allowed us to get plenty of clearance for a 40-inch tall tire. And again, keep the kind of the simple aesthetics of the factory Jeep, which I personally appreciate. These are plastic fenders. They're very lightweight. If you hit them, they don't hurt the body. So that's kind of like why we like going with these.
And then up front, we've got a Currie high pinion 60 front axle.
It's got lockout hubs, 35 spline shafts, 538 gears, and Eaton E-lockers. The beautiful thing about this build is the E-lockers function appropriately with the factory switches in the dash thanks to the Z Automotive locker harnesses. This has PSC steering, which really allows us to turn those tires in the rocks, gives it that nice factory feel at the steering wheel with the bigger tire. But those Curries bolted right in, and in the back we've got a low pinion 60 as well. That again just adds that strength, gives us the confidence to run a 40-inch tall tire, beat it up in the rocks, and not worry about any damage or anything like that. The last thing I want my dad to do is come out on the trails with us, try to keep up and have a failure. And thanks to Currie, we won't have that issue. So as we look up front, we do have Savvy off-road bumpers and inner liners.
So this is their Legacy Series aluminum front bumper.
The steel hoop modified so we could put Baja Design's accessory lighting up front. So we have plenty of lighting for day and night, which is great. We've got Baja Design's new LP6 headlights. These things are sick. They just released them here at SEMA. They're DOT, so they're road legal, and they bolted right in. Again, zero fabrication on this Jeep whatsoever. So as you can see, both in the JT and my 392, we went with a pretty cool Martini style livery with the Built2Wander twist. So we debuted that out at SEMA. I'm pretty stoked with the visuals on the Jeeps. They really came out great.
Walking down the side, we've got the Rock Slide step sliders.
Makes it really easy to get in and out of this Jeep. Again, my dad, you know, he's in his 60s. He wants something that's comfortable to drive. So he can get up and in the Jeep, no problem now, especially with 40s. I know that was one of his concerns. So
we talked a little bit about the 40-inch tire. These are on a set of 17-inch KMC beadlock wheels. We've got the beadlock rings powder coated to match the vehicle from Accurate Powder Coating in Colorado. That shop has been a blast to work with.
They helped us powder coat all of the Savvy armor, the inner liners, and everything matches this hydro blue extremely well, which is really sick.
So in the back, we have the high clearance rear bumper from Savvy Off-Road. Maintains the backup sensors, which is nice. And then if you look here in the bed, we added a 15-pound power tank. So when we're out off-road airing down, my dad can quickly air up those 40s and hit the road without any problems at all.
Kind of see that low pinion rear 60, which I like the low pinion, especially in a JT that's going to be daily driven. It really makes for a smooth ride on road, and it's just a great setup. And then kind of one of the last things that we did with this Jeep
that I'm pretty excited about is this MagnaFlow Street Series exhaust.
So the MagnaFlow sent us this, and really I was concerned about the tailpipe exiting out the side. So Matt down at 3D Off-Road modified it a little bit, got it a little higher and in by messing with the tube a little bit, cutting some pieces down. And so very stout, but it's high up, so I'm not as worried about it once we get into the rocks. It's got a great sound to it, doesn't drone. So when you're cruising down the highway, you hardly know it's there, but when you get on it, it gives the 3.6 a little bit of a better tone, I would say. So that's the JT. Matt Thompson, 3D Off-Road, crushed it on this build. My dad's stoked. I can't wait to see it perform even better on 40s. But as you'll see, you know, when we had it out in Moab and out on the Rubicon Trail, on 37s, it went everywhere we took it. So it just goes to show how capable a build like that can be with a bolt-in application. All right, so the second vehicle we brought to SEMA is my 2024 Jeep Wrangler 392. This was the exact same approach as my dad's JT. So bolt-in, simplicity, 40-inch tall tire. And we actually built this originally for Moab for Easter Jeep Safari in April. We've since made a few upgrades that I'll talk about, but I want to do a quick walk around and just show again how we achieved such functionality with an easy, simple approach, being that everything is bolt-in. So we start up front. Because of the 392, it's got almost 500 horsepower. We did Currie 70s instead of the 60s in the JT. So we've got a high pinion 70 front, high pinion 70 rear. This is, again, a very similar suspension system as the JT. In fact, the front's identical. It's a short arm, 3-inch lift kit from Rock Jock 4x4.
We've got their Any-Rock sway bar arms.
We did some aluminum touches on this build just to add a little bit more bling, but all of it's bolt-in. So we have the exact same shock package, the 8100 DSA shocks from Bilstein shock absorbers. Again, with that dual speed adjustability at the turn of a knob, allows you to really tune the ride for high or low speed, which I love.
We kept the factory fenders, which gives us plenty of clearance for the 40-inch Nitto Trail Grappler.
Savvy off-road aluminum inner liners. We've got the Savvy Legacy Series front bumper, Baja Designs lighting, Warn Winch Factor 55 recovery gear. So we've got lighting and recovery dialed up front. Again, this has the Martini livery, just like my dad's JT for the SEMA show, which I'm pretty stoked about.
The new Baja Designs LP6 DOT headlights.
This is really a very similar build to my dad's. We kind of wanted the two to match, but one of the differences is the rock sliders. I'm doing a little bit more hardcore wheeling than my dad. I can get in and out of the Jeep a little easier as well. So I actually did the weld-on rock sliders from Savvy. So these don't drop down when you open the door, but you do get a little more clearance out of them, and I think they're a little bit more stout in the rocks as well. Again, 40-inch tall Nitto Trail grapplers. We've got forged KMC beadlock wheels, a very similar look to my dad's, a bit stronger, if you will, a little lighter weight as well. And then in the back, Legacy Series rear bumper from Savvy, all aluminum. We've got their spare tire delete with the camera mount, and like I said, that Currie 70 platinum rear axle, absolutely beautiful package. 40 spline shaft, just bolts right in. It's as strong as we would ever need, especially even with 40-inch tires in the V8. So super stoked. This build's been out to Moab. We've had it on the Rubicon, Fordyce Trail. You know, we can't wait to get it out on more trails, but it's definitely been proven. Now, one of the things that can't really see just by looking at the Jeep, but we do have a nice set of skid plates underneath from Next Venture Motorsports. So when we're in the rocks, they've got that UMHW. It's completely silent when you're sliding over rocks, which I love. And we also added a transfer case from America's Most Wanted 4x4. So we went away from the all-wheel drive case that came with this Jeep from the factory, and we added a case that allows you to go to 2 high instead of 4 auto. So with that, when we moved back up front, we swapped out our RCV shafts to some 1480 U-joint shafts from Currie Enterprises, and we added the Warn lockout hub. So now when I drive this thing, I can put it in 2-wheel drive and keep the front unlocked, so there's a little bit less rolling resistance. Of course, that's not necessary for the everyday user, but for us, because we drive this as much as we do, we wanted to have that option.
I'm super stoked with this Jeep, and I love how my dad's came out. The two were designed to be twins to each other.
And again, just show how much capability you can get with a easy, bolt-in, simple build. And I would encourage you guys to think about that as you look into building your next Jeep. You don't have to go all out with the custom fab. Sometimes the bolt-in stuff will get you exactly where you need to go. Just like that, we're loaded up, heading home from the 2025 SEMA show. Had an absolute blast walking people around these rigs all week, sharing the message of that bolt-in simplicity. And like I said, these things just flat out work. We had a blast proving them out in Moab, out on the Rubicon Trail, and we just can't wait to get them out on more trails. Drop me a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you have questions about the build or you're looking for the next bolt-in upgrade for your own Jeep, would love to help out. As always, hit the like button if you did and subscribe if you haven't. Until next time, wander on.
Hey guys, thanks for stopping by the Drive In Line YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe before you leave. I'm Cleese McFarland. Hell yeah, brother. We'll see you later.